They call her, the book calls her Reno Miles. We lovingly call her Sugar Ray because she's so sweet. Not in the heart, but in the mind. Oh, my life, be waiting for you. No, how you do. Well, hello there, love bugs. Hello there, Bellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share to Facebook, subscribe, and tip your favorite narrator via Cash App at $NAROB on YouTube. And if you are not already a part of this book club, please hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube, and for a small monthly fee of $5. You babies, yes, you can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Remember I told y'all that the paying members already knew where we was going? But you people who were not paying members, y'all would only find out when we get there where we're here. Back at Motown. The Marvelettes by Mark Till. Y'all, so far what I'm reading from this book, it reads like the Temptations movie. It's a good read. It's not messy, but it's factual. Bro, sit down somewhere. Rose, sit down. I swear to God, I'd be ready to murk these fucking dogs, man. As the girls began rehearsals for the contest, they started tossing around several names, trying to come up with a proper handle. They jokingly decided on the moniker Cassionettes, a contradiction of can't sing yet, because they were still trying to perfect their craft. As the big day approached, Catherine recalls the nervousness. I had never done anything like enter a talent contest. Probably Georgiana, Wyanetta, and Gladys had never done anything like that either. At that point, it may have been one of the biggest highlights of our lives as teenagers. It was a lot of excitement because the big day was coming. This particular contest was important because the prize for the top 3 winners would be an audition for Motown Records, Berry Gordy Jr.'s fledgling label in Detroit, 17 miles away, that had just scored a smash hit with Shop Around by the Miracles. In the contest, the girls performed Fine, Fine Baby, an original tune written primarily by Georgia that featured Catherine on lead. Unfortunately, they did not win, placing 4th behind a soloist named Millicent Morse, a vocalist named Clarence Finch, and a jazz band. I thought we did an excellent job, says Catherine, but of course the popular vote was for more or less the popular people. As far as coming in 4th, we were all disappointed because we all knew the type of work we had put into it and to try to do our presentation of it. We were really rather disappointed because we felt that we had done a lot better than those who were chosen the winners. Gladys adds, a lot of things went on at that show. There was a guy who played piano at Inkster High School. We saw him and he said, I'll play piano behind you. He had never rehearsed with us, and I felt that something wasn't going together, even the lyrics, the music, or the background, but I knew we were off. People said, y'all sounded so good and y'all looked so good, but with me having an ear for music, even then, I knew something wasn't right. Now, I don't know if they're trying to say that the dude sabotaged them, and I don't know why you chose to do that. I don't know. Like, a dude just walks up to you and be like, hey, I can play piano for y'all. Have y'all performed together? Like, do you know this is going to work right? The thing about the Supremes was like, the Supremes had their own guitarist who they stole. But was it the Supremes? I think they stole it from Smokey Robinson. Do I have it wrong, y'all? But it was important for a singing group to have a musician playing with them, because if you're a singing group with your own musician, that sets you apart. And maybe that was the intentions of the Marvelettes. But it ain't go right. It ain't do it good. Fortunately for the girls, their performance drew praise from members of the faculty, particularly school counsel Anita Cobb and student council advisor Shirley Sharpley. They were able to convince the school principal to let the consignettes, that's it, consignettes, attend Motown's audition segment along with the winners. A native of Detroit, Berry Gordy Jr., who is actually a third, not a junior, was born November 28, 1929, into a family whose hallmark had been ambition and family unity. However, Gordy's road to upward mobility was not a smooth ride. He dropped out of high school at age 16 to become a professional boxer. Although he was a decent fighter, he gave up the sport after 15 fights and decided to make his mark in the music industry. Gordy obtained his high school equivalency diploma and served an Army stint from 1951 to 1953 in Korea. After his discharge, he got married and began working in his father's plastering business. At night, Gordy frequented Detroit's jazz clubs, befriending the vocalists and musicians. With a loan from his father, he opened up a jazz-oriented retail store, the 3D marked House of Jazz. However, the neighborhood demand was for rhythm and blues, and the store went out of business in 2 years. By 1956, Berry Gordy was divorced with 2 children, and he took a job on the Ford assembly line. During this time, Gordy began hanging out at the Flame Show Bar, a luxurious night spot that was a showplace for top African American entertainment in Detroit in the 1950s. It was also around this time that he became interested in songwriting. Through his sisters Annie and Gwen, who owned the photography and cigarettes concession at the Flame, Gordy met several jazz artists who frequented the club and, more important, acquainted himself with Flame co-owner Al Green. Green invited him to write songs for the artists he managed, most notably Jackie Wilson, who had just landed a contract with Brunswick Records. With his songwriting collaborator, Bill Davis, Gordy wrote a string of hits for Wilson over the next couple of years, including Repeat, To Be Loved, This Is Why I Love You So, I'll Be Satisfied, and Lonely Teardrops. Gordy's songwriting success gave his sister Gwen and Billy Davis the impetus to form their own label, Anna Records, named after Anna Gordy. They secured a distribution deal with Chess Records, and the entire Gordy clan pitched in looking for talent to sign. Berry himself first ventured into a record producing via a second-hand record-making machine that he used to produce records for anyone who came in off the streets and paid him $100. In 1958, Gordy met fledgling singer-songwriter Smokey Robinson through Jackie Wilson's new manager, Nat Tarnpold. Al Green had since passed away. Robinson and his group the Matadors were at Tarnpole's office for an audition. Although they failed to draw Tarnpole's interest, they did make an impression on Gordy, who chased them down after the audition to tell them so. He took this 18-year-old Robinson under his wing, and the Matadors soon became the Miracles. Gordy produced the group's first single, an answer to the Silhouette smash hit, Get a Job, titled Got a Job, and leased it to the George Goldners in Records in New York. Despite a good run of hit records, Gordy had little money to show for his songwriting and producing efforts. Gordy saw that the way to make it in the music industry was to stop leasing records to others and begin marketing and merchandising the music himself. In January 1959, Gordy started his own record label, Tamla Records, with an $800 loan from his family. His co-op called Bear Berry. In the spring of 1960, The Miracles Way Over There was the first record released on Tamla without the chess connection and sold 60,000 copies, mostly in the Midwest, remarkable for an unknown Detroit label. That same season, Gordy got his first national hit when he and teenage receptionist songwriter Janie Bradford wrote Money, That's What I Want for Barrett Strong, a tune that shot up to number 2 on the R&B charts and made the top 30 on the pop chart. Near the end of 1960, Tamla scored its greatest success up to that point when the Miracles Shop Around topped the R&B charts for 8 weeks and crossed over to number 2 on the pop charts. Gordy ran his company out of a house found by his second wife, Raynoma Miles, at 2648 West Grand Boulevard, sandwiched between a funeral home and a beauty parlor. So they call her, the book calls her Raynoma Miles. We lovingly call her Sugar Ray because she's so sweet. Not in the heart, but in the mind. He soon formed Jobet Music Publishing, named after his daughters Joy, Betty, and Terry. The corporation, Berry Gordy Jr. Enterprises, Hitsville, USA, Motown Record Corporation, a contraction of Motown, and International Talent Management, Inc., to guide the careers of his singers. Soon, members of the Gordy family were contributing. Berry's sister, Esther Gordy Edwards, gave up her other business interests to secure a vice president post at Motown, where she was put in charge of developing International Talent Management, Inc. Her husband, State Senator George Edwards, became Motown's first comptroller. Lucy Gordy Wakefield took a job as Motown's vice president and was in charge of billing and collections. Berry's brother, Robert, became an engineer at Hitsville. A few years later, sisters Gwen and Anna were no longer able to make a profit with Anna Records, so the label went out of business, and all of their acts were eventually turned over to Motown, which included Taco Meat Marvin, i.e. Marvy Poo, as we lovingly call him. In April 1961, the girls and Mrs. Sharpley made the half-hour trek to Motown, suffering a flat tire en route. Although they were late for the audition, they were still accepted. Upon their arrival, they met Robert Bateman, the primary auditioner. Bateman originally sang bass in a group, the Satin Tones, who enjoyed early local success on Motown with their recording of Motor City in late 1959 and My Beloved in early 1960. He also doubled as the Rayber Voices bass singer and was partly responsible for bringing Mary Wells to Motown, having known her through a mutual girlfriend. They're just going to skip over the fact that Rayber is the combination of Sugar Ray's name and the bird Gordy's name. Okay. Because Ray Noma could sing too. She was very talented. Ray Noma doesn't get half the acknowledgement as she should. But she was so sweet, not in the heart, but in the brain, that she just got taken advantage of. And it breaks my heart. It really does, because I can be a sweet brain type person too. Gordy encouraged Bateman to diversify his talents, and he soon became a chief engineer at the company's recording studio. Georgia recalls how the girls initially did not make a positive impression at Motown. They looked at us like we were little country girls. They looked at us like we were dumb. To them, we were little, young, country, dumb-looking chicks. We were square. We weren't glamorous at all. We were country kids coming to the big city. For their audition, the girls performed songs they had done for their talent show. Catherine was the first to sing lead, followed by Gladys and then Georgia. By the time Georgia stepped to the front, Berry Gordy was in attendance. Although everyone was impressed by the girls' performance, they were told they needed original material to record. Ain't that some bullshit? You didn't tell everybody else that. You didn't tell the Supremes that, even though that he told the Supremes, you too young, come back when you ain't young no more. You can't just come here and just sing, no. Like he ain't got a super producer in the back as his best friend. The Smokey the Robinson. Like he ain't got that, okay? Because Smokey the Robinson can make a hit just like that. I mean, maybe not after 1982, but he could make a hit just like that. And you mean to tell me that these girls got to come back? It's like he intentionally is making it hard for the Marvelettes. Come back when you got a song. Your own shit. Bastard. But that they did.